Peter Franklin. Good morning, Peter. Gabby, Cabby.
Good morning. Good morning. Would you believe that on national television, a guy who's going to be maybe a Supreme Court judge is discussing the fact that he's a virgin?
I got to tell you something. I was surprised that he went on TV last night. We haven't talked about that yet this morning. Just because it's showing you how tense this is and how fragile this is right now for him to actually go on TV during this process.
Yeah, but it's because remember, I pace this as your chief correspondent in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I pace the interest of the news is that what are people talking about in the cab, and there's always certain topics that come up, and like everybody's talking about. Well, I got to tell you something. So far today. And last night, I guess, boy, that is the number one topic of conversation. I mean, in every range of human endeavor, meaning some people are making jokes about it, some people are outraged about it. There's a lot of different emotions coming about it. But the basic thing, and it's my thought too, is did you ever think you'd live to see the day?
Yeah, I never did. I can't imagine. He said he was a virgin in high school for years and for years afterward. Wow. But I guess if
the talk show host, that should be the first question you ask them.
Yeah.
Even if you're interviewing a carpenter or a plumber or what have you, it'd say, yeah, and by the way, when did you stop being a virgin?
The funny thing, though, is, and I'm just making an observation, you don't have to. You can still be a virgin and do what this woman is claiming that he did. That's kind of the problem with it.
Of course. The other thing I want to share with you is that we are in a living hell. This is an announcement to everybody. Stay away from New York.
Oh, the gridlock must be horrible.
Oh, my God, it's unbelievable. The UN Assembly is having its meeting here. Now, as most of you nice listeners know, every country has two ambassadors in the United States. One is at the embassy in Washington, which represents the country to the United States, and one is what's called the mission to the UN, which represents the country to the United Nations. So every country in the world that has shown up, and as part of the protocol, which is absolutely insane, and most people don't even know this, every single mission gets a police escort from their mission to the UN Assembly, which is at 44th Street and 1st Avenue. And the number of cop cars and sirens that you get depend on the size of your country. So a big country is going to have maybe 10 police cars with the sirens screaming. A small country is going to have maybe one. And the way we judge the people in New York City is not so much on their politics, but on how they behave. I mean, there's certain countries that are obnoxious and terrible. I don't mean that politically. It's just the people that are involved with it, whereas others are nice. So, for instance, Canada's considered a good country because Canadians are nice. They're nice people.
The gridlock must be just, and today, of course, is a really big day. So there'll be no getting around once you get it. Even in Midtown, I'm assuming it's just gonna be awful all over the city.
Oh, it is. And also what happens is the cops, New York City cops are pretty laid back. They make a fortune in money. They got lots of overtime. They're happy people. There's not that much crime. But they get very uptight and they start yelling, especially the Secret Service guys. These young men with sunglasses and they all have hearing aids. And they get very uptight. So the New York City cop might usually say, please move it along, please move it along. The Secret Service guys would say, move it along, get moving, that kind of thing.
I also want to ask you, because we're getting tight on time, and I know you're tight on time because there's so many people who want to talk to you today. But marijuana in New York City, what is it? We're close to legalization here.
Yeah, well, what has happened is that the district attorney or whoever the authority is has vacated 3,000 arrest warrants. These are people who had gotten summons to show up in court because they were smoking pot, and so they've been thrown away, and 56 convictions have been dropped. So it's not completely legal yet, but if you're smoking pot in New York City, it's kind of okay. It's the selling that's going to get you in trouble.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, there are active warrants for smoking pot or selling pot?
No, that's for smoking.
That's That's
You can
kind of
get a
ridiculous.
summons. It's like a parking ticket.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
And
But
so
wait,
if you
they're
don't
issuing
want to
arrest
pay,
warrants?
The court issues a warrant for it. But the fact that they've all been canceled, that means there's 3,000 very happy people today that don't mess with it. But I still would advise, as a health advisory to your nice listeners, you don't want to put that crap in your lungs.
All right, Peter. We although if there's ever a day in New York City, gridlock, today would be the day.
Yeah, come on. Everybody drive down here and come visit. Right? Come on
sounds
down.
good. Best tour in New York City. It's Peter Franklin's. Go to Gabby.com for details. Peter, thanks so much. We'll talk again next week.
You got it, sweetheart.